Hi everyone and welcome to my weekend. It is Saturday and today for me got off to an absolutely amazing start for quite a few reasons actually. There's plenty of thank yous at the beginning of my weekend for quite a few reasons. The first reason is that I'm at 81,000 subscribers on the channel, which is unbelievable. Also over 53 million views. I never imagined that I would ever achieve that sort of figure. It is just, I know it's an odd figure, it's not like 50 million or 100 million, but 53 million views. And when I started the channel up, I was just purely just sharing information. I never thought that it would turn into something as big as this. And the only people I can thank for that are you. I really am genuinely grateful, because without your views and your comments and your tweets and your awesome messages and your support, none of it would be worthwhile. None of it would be happening. So just thank you so much. Genuinely thank you. I really am, I don't know, just very humbled by it all. So anyway, the other thing was that I actually put online today my updated editing room tour. And again, another thank you. So many views, so many awesome comments, all saying you love how the editing room's looking, and it just makes it all worthwhile. So good job on your part for viewing. I know I put the work in on that editing room tour. It was hard to record. I actually recorded almost 2 hours worth of footage for that, and then editing it all down. I think my only thing I would say that I will improve next time was I didn't want to put the camera on a tripod. I think I explained that in another video. And at the same time, I wanted to handhold the camera and do it more of a sort of run and gun nature to the video, if that's the right term. But it did end up a little bit shaky, purely because of the weight of the camera. I was using my Panasonic GH4 with the Olympus lens, and it's quite a weighty combination, especially when you've just got it on a single sort of handle to support the camera. So it was a little bit shaky in parts, and that's the only thing I wish I changed. So next time around, maybe when I do the next tour of the studio, I will use some sort of mount, some sort of stabilised mount, just to give it a bit more smoother panning action. That's the plan, anyway. So the rest of my day, we're just about to actually go and do our food shopping, and I'm also going to be doing some more work in the editing room, just some sort of behind the scenes stuff. I've got all of the screens up there, and I've got a calibrator in. It's actually sitting on the desk just down here. It's an X-Rite i1 Display Pro, and I want to see how that works and test it and actually calibrate the 3 screens that are in the editing room. And then I will bring you a video about the i1 Display Pro as well, just to let you know how that turns out. Now, one of the comments that I got on the editing room tour so far that I wanted to address, actually 2. One of them was, well, what's left in the studio? Well, obviously, as you can see, I've still got this area here, which I use my MacBook Pro on the desk behind me. I've also got the recording area over there where I do recording. I've also got the seating area where I sit and record from time to time. So there's still plenty in here. I've also got all the AV equipment, so if I'm ever testing anything like a subwoofer, then I test in that area there as well. Don't do much game stuff actually, even though there's a PS4 and Xbox One in that setup. I don't do much games coverage, but still, that's another story for another day. The idea I actually had is possibly, I was talking to you the other day about putting another screen up here and not knowing what to purchase. Well, what I've been finding over the past few days, where I've got that ultra widescreen 34-inch LG monitor in the editing room, is I found that the real estate that gives me is perfect for a single monitor setup. With the dual monitor, I'm finding that I'm having to sort of move my head around too much, especially to see sort of the far extremities of the 2 displays. So what I might, and this is a might at this stage, is I might bring one of the Thunderbolt displays back in here, so that when I'm using my MacBook Pro down here, I can connect that for a dual screen setup, which is ideal for when I'm doing like my social networking and researching and things like that, where I need to make notes across 2 different areas. So I might do that and then go back to a single screen and then obviously use macOS 10 Spaces with the LG monitor to organise my work areas. One of the things I'm finding lately, and I'm not sure if any of you ever experience the same, but if I'm on my dual screen setup and I have my Twitter and my email on the left hand screen and then my editing on the right hand screen, I keep glancing across at the social networking, which isn't good for productivity. Sometimes mistakes creep in the editing. So I'm thinking going back to using Spaces and that single screen setup will make me concentrate on the editing at hand, and then once I finish that, then I can go back across to the social networking, which is what I do when I'm in my normal sort of day working mode anyway. I don't let things distract me too much, but I am finding a little bit of distraction creeping in when I'm using that dual screen setup. So I might possibly do that. And then another thing that came up in the comments of the editing room tour is somebody asked me, and forgive me, I haven't got any notes in front of me, so I can't remember your name, but I know that one viewer asked, why don't I remove the cupboard door? Now, that was a really valid point, and you were referring to the fact that when I'm editing, I have in one of the cupboards, power supply, backup hard drive, my LaCie 5 big Thunderbolt hard drive, where I do all my editing onto those. It's 5 discs in one box. And I have my Ethernet switch, and it does generate a lot of heat. So when I'm sitting there editing, I have the door open. The reason I don't want to remove that door is because when I shut everything down, I like to then close that and it keeps things dust free. That's the only reason. It's a very valid point and very good idea. If you're not using the door, remove the door. And I would definitely do that if I didn't want to keep it closed, just to keep everything sort of nice and clean inside the cupboard. Oh, and I remember somebody else also asked me how I actually keep everything clean and how much dust it collects. Well, with regards to the foam on the walls in the editing room, I tend to use a little mini vacuum on that every now and again, maybe once every 2 weeks, something like that. And then the actual screens and all of the other equipment, I tend to dust really regularly, probably once every 2 to 3 days I give it a dust. And I generally keep my work areas pretty tidy, so that keeps the dust down in there. And I use these microfiber cloths. I think I bought them on Amazon. I got a pack of 10 for about £8 or something, or £6. So I can use them for like a week, and then it goes in the washing machine, and then I start a fresh duster. So that's what I really do, is I keep the dust down just by doing it regularly. Well, believe it or not, it is now Sunday at 10 p.m. Yes, 10 p.m. and I can't apologise enough. I haven't had a chance to pick up the camera all weekend. Now, I know when I say I apologise in the videos, plenty of you say, no need to apologise, you know, it's not your fault, you've got a life after all. And yes, this weekend has been a lot of family time. It's also been working as well. That's one of the things you have to take into account when you're self-employed, that you do end up working very long hours, and sometimes it does spill over into the weekend as well. Now, work-wise, this weekend I did a lot of work on security. I also did a lot of work on planning for next week. So probably about 4 to 5 hours of my Sunday was that. But the rest of the Sunday was definitely family time. We had a really nice roast dinner. Also took a trip over to John Lewis. John Lewis, for those of you who are not familiar, is quite a nice retail store in the UK. They sell a lot of sort of homewares, nice electrical department, nice restaurant area as well. We had some refreshments while we were there. Actually managed to catch a look at the Samsung Galaxy Tab S 10.5. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But I managed to grab a look at one of those for about 10 or 15 minutes. I must say that I was quite impressed. Well, very impressed indeed. The actual screen is gorgeous, very high resolution. It's also a Super AMOLED screen. Also got the fingerprint reader like on the Samsung Galaxy S5. And it was a nice device. The only thing I did notice with it is the top right hand corner on the screen was extremely hot. So I don't know whether it sort of had a hot spot on the screen, whether that's just normal for that device, but it was definitely hot in the top right hand corner. Maybe that's where the processor is or something behind that particular area. But other than that, very, very nice indeed. Super thin, same styling, same backing as the Samsung Galaxy S5 as well. It was just the screen that was the highlight. Really, really nice. I also played back a few videos whilst I was there. Looked at some websites, good browsing experience. So good job on Samsung's part on that one. In fact, if I didn't have an iPad Air myself personally, I'd probably pick one up for my own personal use. So anyway, that's it for this weekend video. As I say again, I know you're going to say don't apologise, but I am sorry, I just haven't had a chance to pick up the camera. Super busy, so much work to do, but an exciting week ahead next week. In fact, by the time you've seen this video, you'll have already seen my initial unboxing and an extra bonus video on the LG G Watch, which I'm really enjoying using. It is limited, admittedly limited in its functionality, but it's a very, very nice device. So thanks for watching, hit that like button, I'll see you all again in the next one. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, there are two places you can find the subscribe button. On the main channel page, it's just up here in the top right hand corner. If you're on a video watch page, then you'll find it just underneath the video you've been watching. Click on the subscribe button and that means that you are now subscribed to the Geekanoids channel. But there is one more step you must take. Click on the little cog icon next to the subscribed button, put a tick in the send me updates box and click save. Job done. Thank you very much for watching again. I'll see you next time.